Everyone says that everything was better back then, that something was lost. But what if it was never about the year? We hear it everywhere, in TikTok, and comments, in Instagram. 2016 was the best year. Everything was better before. This doesn't feel like 2016 anymore. And it's not just a phrase, it's a real feeling. Something many of us feel, even if we can't fully explain it. When you see certain image, something moves inside you, as if for a second you were back there. And then you think, what happened? Why doesn't feel the same anymore? For a long time, we think the answer will be simple. We think the problem is that year, that the world changed, that everything became more complicated, faster, heavier, and yes, years move forward, technology changed, trends change, life doesn't stand still. But what if that's not the whole story? Because when we say we miss 2016, we're not really talking about a year. We're talking about who we were back then, about how we felt. Maybe we were simpler, maybe we were less, maybe we didn't carry so much in our heads. Maybe we were not so tired, not because life was perfect, but because we were different. It's like missing a place, a trip, a stage of school, and you say, I want to go back there. But if you think about it, what you miss is not just the place, you miss how you feel there, the version of you that existed at that time. Because you could go somewhere completely different and still feel just as alive, just as light. So maybe the problem is not that 2026 doesn't feel like 2016. Maybe it's that we're not the same anymore. We've lied more, we've lost things, we've been disappointed, we pushed ourselves too hard. We're more tired, more overwhelmed, more broken, or at last that's how it feels. And that's why we look back with nostalgia. Not because that the year was perfect, but because we feel whole. But here's something important. We cannot miss something that's completely gone if we can still become me again. That version of you didn't die in 2016. It just went unpassed. Under the noise, under the pressure, under all the I have to. This is not about going back to the past. That's not impossible. It's about understanding that what you miss is not that year, but the way you live your life. And that can still be renewed. Maybe not exactly the same, maybe not with the same innocence, but with more awareness. Maybe 2026 doesn't feel like 2016 because now you know more, because now you feel more, and because now you carry more. And that doesn't mean it's worse, it just means it's different. Maybe the challenge is not bringing back a year, maybe it's bringing back parts of yourself you leave behind without releasing it. The calm, the curiosity, the simplicity, enjoying things without overthinking everything. So, no, it's not that years aren't like they used it to be. It's that we've changed, And the good news is if we change once, we can change again, not to go back to the past, but to create a version of ourselves that feels just as alive in the present.